Welcome back, folks. Here we are, season 3 of TML Weekly. Opening night. The Jays are playing crazy times right now for Toronto sports fans. With me, as always, my co-host here, Johnny. We're missing Nolan tonight. He'll be kind of in and out. He just moved, and we'll have him when we can. Jack's going to jump in this season. Kara's going to jump in this season. We got all kinds of cool stuff planned. Our new idea is to keep it short and sweet, get to the point. Basically, because my buddy over here likes to ramble, as we all know. So we're going to try to implement a little bit of a shot clock here. So as we get into the episodes deeper into the season, you might see a 24-second clock, and if we get on a topic, that's going to be you better get your point across because you're going to get buzzed, right? Thank you again to our sponsors, gracious sponsors, signed on for another season. Bjorn Hockey, all kinds of cool stuff happening in their world: sticks, gloves, apparel, and then Don Cherry Sports Grills. Of course, John, you and I are huge fans of the man Don Cherry. I talked to the owner of Don Cherry's today, and they're aboard, ready to go, loving TML Weekly. They actually are opening a new store in Parry Sound, Ontario.
Home of Bobby Orr. That's right.
Home of Bobby Orr. So what we'd like to do, and I'll talk to Daryl as the season goes, but if I'm ever up that way, I think it would be really cool if we were to do a live show at Don Cherry's at the new location in Parry Sound.
I think we're
going to work that out. Don Cherry's rolling. Everybody's rolling. The Leafs are ready to go. Let's jump into it. But before we get to the hockey, Johnny, I know you're a Yankee guy.
Love him.
I don't know how, right? You're young enough that the Jays have been around since you kind of got into this, no?
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I used to have season's tickets for the Jays.
Yeah.
And the Blue Jays as a franchise lost me in the early 2000s when they sold off everybody, and I watched my season's tickets go from like $1,500 to $6,000 in the space of 3 years when there was 13,000 people at the game. And I watched the beer go from $8.50 a beer to $16.75 a beer, and parking went up, and I went, why am I doing this? This team could
it's the economics of the game.
Yeah, but that's
it happens that you're in the market that happened to.
Where it happened. And so Derek Jeter was my favorite player.
Yeah.
And I thought, there's Steinbrenner, and he just went, I don't care, I just want to win. And I went, man, I can get behind that. So I'm a Yankees guy. Evil Empire all the way.
Well, they're lucky. Toronto
should have been over.
Last night when they jumped out, and it makes me nervous as a Jay fan. And I'm older than you, and I was a Red Sox fan when I was very young, before the Jays came in, right? So living on the east coast of Canada here, we would get the Red Sox radio.
The mass feed, yeah.
I get the radio at night, right? You could turn your little transistor radio to the right spot in your bedroom, and you can listen to. And that was in the Carl Yastrzemski and Jim Rice, and Dennis Eckersley was a starter, right? So, but I'm a Jays guy. I mean, I'm really happy for
it's great for the city,
fan base, the people that are the diehards, right? They're selling the place out. It's buzzing.
There's a buzz in the city.
What's that?
There is a buzz in the city.
Oh.
And listen, I'll be the very first guy. If the Yankees go out, I'll get on the Jays bandwagon for sure.
Yep.
But it is undeniably, it's great for the city when the Blue Jays do well. And so
absolutely,
I'm a Toronto boy, born and bred. It's good for the city. I'm in. I'm all for it, as long as it's not against the Yankees.
Yeah, I hear you. But it's the first time they've ever met in the postseason, and you think about
which is crazy when you.
Yeah, but it's only been a wild card now for 15 years. You had to win your division to get out. They're always in their division. right? So how are you going to meet them in the playoffs until, 10, 12 years ago?
That's fair.
They expanded the playoff footprint. But it's fantastic for the league. Really liking to see, the J big guys actually being their big guys. And let's not forget here, Bo Bichette.
Not playing.
Top 5 player in the world. And he's not in your lineup, but I hear he's really, really close. So, you get that.
I'm not hearing that at all. I'm not hearing that at all.
I'm hearing he's very close. I'm hearing he's on the roster in the championship series.
Well, he hasn't even started running yet, from what I've heard.
I'm hearing he's on the roster.
Woo! Look at this. Here we
I'm not as well.
We're not even into hockey. We're already.
It's a different sport. I'm talking to I talk to people that really know in hockey, and I don't have those kind of connections in baseball. But anyway, good luck. So we'll have the J game on the laptop and the Leaf game on the big screen here. Jack's ready to go. Jack's going to join us this year. Jack, made I mentioned to you, Jack's season's underway, so he made the U13 AAA Pee Wee Halifax Hawks. That's good awesome. Job. He had a great camp, playing the right way, using his body. Kids are, generally a year older in this league than him, but he's, got a great team, fantastic team. I mean, they went down, had a little mini tournament in the South Shore of Nova Scotia on the weekend, and played a team that is penciled in to be one of the top teams in Nova Scotia, the Dassa Ducks, and we beat them on Saturday. They beat us on Sunday, and they were real good, fast, heavy, real good hockey for a bunch of kids
early in the season too. Yeah.
11 and 12 years old. So it'll be fun to play them all year. So Jack will be in and out of the podcast as he always is. And we got some other cool stuff planned this year. We'll share it as it comes out. And any suggestions from our listening group, certainly, reach out, send us a message on this. We want to make you guys happy, right? That's what we're here for. We want to entertain. We want people to, be knowledgeable about the Leafs and the NHL and anything we can do. The other thing, the big thing, John, and I don't know if I've shared this with you yet, but TML Weekly this year for the first time is going to be available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, anywhere you get your podcasts. TML Weekly is going to be there. We probably won't have video on those platforms, but if you're driving, you got a little road trip for work or something like that, save it, put it on, don't miss it. Okay.
There you go.
So let's get into it. Off season, Johnny, we were a little bitter. Let's face it. They went out in Game 7 with a whimper. I just, I don't drink very much anymore, and no, it's true. So I am having a Guinness here tonight because it's opening night. But my wife, the night the Leafs lost in Game 7, we had company. We had one of my wife's friends, Carol Lee, was in town from Saskatchewan. So, typical Game 7, right? I'm excited. I'm getting after it. I'm having a few beers. I'm having some fun. Game ends. Jack had fallen asleep in the middle of the third, put him up to bed. Indy and Carol Lee had been in bed since early in the second. Okay, so the game ends. And I think I told you this that night.
Oh, yeah.
I proceeded to drink everything that was in. We have a little a drink fridge in our kitchen. So we got our main fridge, and then we've got one that's got, and Mindy had these coolers and ciders. I wanted to drink anything that tasted like candy.
Remotely
right? So I'm drinking grape cooler, cider. Didn't matter. She got up in the morning and thought that I had a party. She's like, "Did you have people over?" And I said, "No. What do you mean? I didn't. It was just me." She said, "There's 12 cans on the counter that were drank after I went to sleep." And I said, "Yeah, I had a rough.
That was a tough night."
And I just literally sat here, watched the post-game interviews, okay, and stewed and what if, and what if they had done this, or why did they do this, or that's all gone.
Well,
I'm optimistic again, John. It's opening day. I'm ready.
100%.
Right.
And so, and listen, the group chat that night was fire. It was an explosive group chat that night. Let me tell you.
Well, we all agreed that Mitchell Marner played his last game that night as Toronto Maple Leafs.
100%. And so that's it. So great segue into this. The Marner era is what it is.
Yeah.
And if you've watched us for any length of time, my feelings. My feelings have been clear for 3 seasons on him. So I am 1,000% great that he's gone. Wish him well. God love you. You do you. I don't want to hear about you anymore. But when I look at this team now, what I would really hope that people who follow this team, if I hear somebody say one more time, how are you going to replace 100 points? You don't need to. You don't need to have 100 points of Mitch Marner replaced. The Florida Panthers last year, had, I think, one guy that had over 75 points. They had 3 players that had over 60 points. You do not need Mitch Marner's 100 points. It's flashy, it's pizzazz, it's all of those great things. And, dipsy doodling, it's great. We have NHL players and we have a deeper lineup. 1 line through line 4. It's a deeper lineup. If Scott Laughton was healthy tonight, Scott Laughton's your 4th line center. That's a deep 4 C's going down the middle. So for everybody that's panicking on what we're going to do with Mitch Marner's points, everybody take a breath. Let's get to the quarter pole in the season. This is a tryout right now to see who's going to be able to do what. Is Michelli going to be the guy that everybody seems to want him to be, and he's showing flashes of, and he's playing with Matthews and Nyes, and maybe there is something special there. Who knows? We're going to find out. That third line, all of a sudden, John, when was the last time we had a third line?
Yeah, they're big.
We haven't had a third line like that in years. So, again, I would say to everybody, be optimistic. Be cautiously optimistic.
I'm cautiously optimistic. I said that.
And there's going to be bumps. Yeah, there's going to be bumps along the way. And listen, we don't know what's going on with the goaltending situation. As far as I know, I haven't heard anything on Joseph Woll. I hope to God everything's okay, and take care of whatever you need to take care of.
Yeah.
So on the human side, 100%. On the hockey side, the show's got to go on. They've got they picked up young Primo off waivers. I mean, he's not really young anymore. Yeah. He's not really young though. I think he's about 26 or 27, if I remember.
Yeah. He's right in that age where you're going to stay. You're going to be Malcolm. Hildeby had a fantastic camp. Okay, he's okay. I haven't heard anything either, and I've asked around about Joe Woll. Hopefully, his family, everybody's healthy, this and that. Take the time that you need. You need that guy though, or you need someone like him come February or March. But to add to your point on the quarter mark or whatever, I always try to say U.S. Thanksgiving, right? You're going to know who you are by U.S. Thanksgiving. So 2 months away. You're going to know who you are. And the powers that be with the Toronto Maple Leafs, they watch Florida, they watch Tampa, they play them 6, 8, 10 times a year now with the playoffs. They're going to know by U.S. Thanksgiving what needs to come into this group. But for now, it's next guy up. We're going to give guys opportunities, and you're going to either seize them or don't. It's up to you, right? And I want to see a continuation of Matthews. I thought Matthews was great in the playoffs. I didn't have an issue with his presence. The preseason stuff that I watched, I saw Austin finally using his frame. Okay, Matthew Nyes is bigger and stronger. I think he's going to have a fantastic year. John Tavares, consummate pro. Almost a career year last year in his mid to late 30s, right?
Let's be honest,
though. It's a team-friendly deal. Now we've got this guy at, cheaper than guys are playing third and fourth liners, and he's still there. He's fine. He takes tremendous care of himself. He's not going to be one of these guys that goes from 60 to 20 points in a season, right? He's too focused and aware of what it takes to be a professional in the National Hockey League. So I'm excited. I think Willie Nylander, he's going to come out flying. It's exciting. It's opening night, right? We're all you haven't lost yet.
Everybody's undefeated.
Everybody's got a chance at the Stanley Cup today, right? So it's exciting. And again, Johnny, we just got to let them play and see what happens here and kind of, roll with it. And there's a short leash there on production. Right? Pelly wants to go. He knows what it'll mean. And just go back to a baseball reference briefly. I had heard that after the Detroit game in Detroit on Saturday night, there was pretty much the whole team at the J game on Sunday. And so for those guys to see and react to the buzz and make no mistake, the buzz with the Toronto Blue Jays having a chance to win the World Series for the first time since 1993 is a fraction of the buzz that the Toronto Maple Leafs, if they get to the finish line in May or June. Fraction.
100%.
Yeah. So for them to see that and feel that and experience that and see, how their big guys stepped up when they needed to, their rookie pitcher, right? I mean, they were at that game. We were on our way back from hockey in
Savage was unbelievable, actually.
Listening to it on the radio, and just like I was screaming out every strikeout, and I wasn't watching it. I was listening to it. And sometimes baseball, honestly, I like to listen to it better because that's how I was able as a young child to understand the game, because we would get maybe one game a week out here when I was a kid. Right.
So hold on, Johnny, listen. Yeah. Hold on for a second. We got a comment from a buddy, Frank LaGreco. Frankie says they should give Cowan the opportunity to play with Matthews.
Well, it's going to happen. Absolutely.
But hold on. But just in case everybody doesn't know, and maybe you're just dipping into this before it starts, Easton Cowan got sent down. He's playing in the minors. And what I would say to everybody who's disappointed, don't be disappointed at all with Easton Cowan playing in the minors. Easton Cowan, by every metric, had a fantastic camp. He played well. He did what he was told. He showed he belonged. The advantage that we have here is he can go down. He does not have to play right now. We've got other guys in other positions that we need on this roster in this particular moment. If Easton Cowan's on this team and he's not playing in a top 6 role, he needs to go down and play in a top 6 role and get power play time and get penalty killing time and learn how to be a pro. Right? There's no reason to rush that kid.
He's not playing in St. John's, Newfoundland. He's playing in Toronto. Right?
Correct.
He'll be around the team. He's going to be around the team. And when Easton Cowan is ready to – and you know what? You make his debut on a home game. Right?
Yeah, 100%. On a Saturday night, give him a little shine.
Saturday night, let him have his accolades. Just wanted to mention another Nova Scotian kid that had a really good camp, Landon Sim. So Landon's John Sim.
Been around for a while, too.
Cup with Dallas in 99. Yeah. So he just won a Memorial Cup with the Knights. Toronto signed him to a one-way deal with the Marlies. So he's on an American Hockey League deal. And he was just outstanding in the preseason stuff and inter-squad games that I got a chance to see some clips. Plays heavy, plays tough, will fight anybody, doesn't care. He and Easton Cowan, two guys coming into to the pro ranks together from London, are
Good
going
stuff.
to, it's nice, right? So I mean, what about the rest of Montreal? I'll tell you, Montreal's not going to roll over this year. They're going to have a good.
Okay, so Kara and I were down at the Habs game.
Yes.
Last Saturday or 2 Saturdays ago, can't remember.
Yeah.
Listen, Montreal is a very good hockey team. What I noticed about them though was what's his name? Lane Hudson.
Yeah.
That kid, and I hate giving flowers to anybody involved with Montreal. That kid is going to be a special player. The control he had of the game when he was on the ice at his age was astonishing. It really was. So enough about Montreal. Who gives a shit about them? What I really noticed in that game, didn't get on the score sheet, but boy, when he was on the ice, you knew he was on the ice, was Dakota Joshua. And he's huge. Like you do not realize how big he is.
Yeah.
And
skates well too for a big man who skates really well.
And I'm telling you, if he can get a little, like, we don't have that mustard. If he can give us a little bit of that mustard along with, the capability to pop in 15 goals, all of a sudden, again, you're talking about a third line that matters, a third line that can cause problems. And, we haven't had that for a while. And if you're freaking out about Mitch Marner, you have a third line that can score, that you trust defensively as well. That changes the way Berube can do so many things on the ice. It really does.
Yeah, Berube, I saw a thing. He likes this Sammy Blaze kid. He's heavy.
Good for him.
Well,
yeah.
And
Quinlan too. Good for Jacob Quinlan making this team. I think that's awesome.
Dartmouth, Nova Scotia boy from my hometown. Played former Dartmouth Whaler. He made the team.
It's good for him. And before we get out of here, we haven't touched on our defense yet. So couple things I want.
Solid.
Couple things I want to touch on though is a full season of Brendan Carlo is going to make a massive difference. This is not a guy we've dropped in at the trade deadline now and figure it out and paste them in. Brendan Carlo is a legitimate, serious shutdown defenseman in the NHL. And this year we are going to be night and day better with him than we have been in the past. The linchpin for us really is, who is Morgan Rielly, and can he get back to what he was, or is this decline that we saw last year going to magnify? That to me is the one interesting, really interesting thing going in with this team. I'm a little worried about Tavares. Does Tavares take a little bit of a step back? I'm a little worried about it, but I'm much more interested in finding out who Morgan Rielly is.
Well, I can tell you, I have a little insight on that. Morgan Rielly worked, from what I've been told, harder this summer than he has in 10 years. And he was always a guy that took care of himself. I think we're going to see a resurgence of Morgan Rielly, or they're going to ask Morgan Rielly to waive his no movement clause, and they're going to bring somebody in here that can. I think the noise that was around Morgan and his camp all summer was like, oh, they were here in Calgary, they were here in Vancouver, they were hearing this and that and the other thing, and there was reasons for that, right? As you mentioned, he declined last year. One of the things that I think will change is without the core four and Marner being moved out, I think they're going to go back to the 1D, and I think Morgan's going to get some opportunity early in the season. to play on that power play unit that he wasn't getting. Power play 1, power play 2. Come on, you're getting 20 seconds, right?
Yeah.
So I think that might. I hope. He's been a.
We all hope. No. Listen, we need more. Like
guy.
we need Morgan Rielly to be Morgan Rielly.
Yeah.
To be successful. If we're going to have a successful season, we need Morgan Rielly to be a legitimate 1A type player. We do, point blank, and that's what we need. So Morgan, if you're watching us in the dressing room, which I'm sure you are, this is a positive. This is us pumping you up and giving you a little bit of cred. So come have a bounce back season for us, Morgan.
Awesome. Predictions for tonight, Johnny. What do you think?
I'm taking the Leafs 4-3.
I'm taking the Leafs 4-2 with an empty netter. But I'm telling you, this Montreal team's a good hockey player.
They're real.
It's so folks, if Toronto gets beat tonight,
the world's not ending.
No, there's a big long season ahead. But enjoy it. Crack a drink and enjoy yourselves. We're certainly going to do that, and we'll touch base again next week. And yeah, thanks to our sponsors, Bjorn and Don Cherries, as always. Off we go. Go Leafs, go. Go Jays, go. No Yankees.
Oh, Jesus.
No Yankees.
Hold on. What are we doing here? Let's go.